Folks, it's me, Donald Trump. We won, and it has a lot to do with the following guys. Let me tell you about something so huge, something they're all talking about. It's called The Dumb Show with Matt Spear, and it's live every weeknight at 7 p.m. Eastern. This is the show that's redefining what it means to speak the truth in podcasting. No nonsense, no filters, just bold, fantastic commentary. Some say the best commentary ever. It's not funded by Russia. It's not funded by China. Oh no, this is 100% American energy right here. So tune in, watch The Dumb Show on social media at The Dumb Show or thedumbshow.com, and let's make podcasting great again. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Solo tonight. Olivia is off. It's going to be me, you, and that's it. Just us together. It's going to be fine. We're going to have a good time. Maybe we won't. I think we will. There we go. Mood lighting is back. Looks good. Everything's 5x5. Yenny is in the house. Yenny, go over there. Go sit with Mom, who's not going to be here tonight. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Whole bunch to do. People melting down left and right. I hope you like the new intro. Kind of a cool thing. No, that wasn't Donald Trump, but that's okay. It sounded like him. Welcome to Artificial Intelligence. Hope everyone is doing well once again. We have got a few things. We're going to talk about the appointments, the reaction to the appointments. We're going to talk about overall lib meltdown, what their goal is, why they lost the election. I already gave you a hint, but we'll go into it more. If you have not had a chance, go over to Truth Social. We're now on Truth Social. Man, it's horrible. Unless I start getting some followers, I'm just going to delete it. But wow, it's hard. Nobody participates on there. I don't understand how people get followers. I'm just like, forget it. So if you are on Truth Social, head on over there, throw us a bone, because if it doesn't get better, I'm not going to waste my time. I already have Instagram. I already have YouTube. I already have Twitter. That is impossible to grow on. I really don't want another channel. So there's that. Folks, see you in a few minutes. 3 minutes to be exact. See you in a few. Step into a whip kit. What's going on, everybody? Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me show. I am proud to announce that the Documents of Freedom are back in stock. It's a 3-book collection, leather-bound, by Arcadia Publishing. Starts out with the Bill of Rights, and it's the complete edition of the rights, so you can look up and reference anything your heart desires. Declaration of Independence, with revisions and founder images included, beautifully illustrated. And last but not least, what would Documents of Freedom be without the Constitution of the United States of America in its entirety? The box is handmade by PFC Flags, custom engraving, all 100% made in the USA from the nails to the glue. And we have a 5-star rating, satisfaction guaranteed, 150 sold 5 stars or better. It is so important, especially in today's society, to ensure that the younger generation has these books available in the future. Get them for your family and friends, available right now. Head on over to thedumbshow.com/books. Thanks so much. Just want to let you know there were a few pending customers. All those went out today. They'll actually go out tomorrow morning, to be exact. We shipped them just a few minutes ago.
Howdy, y'all. This is Damani Felder. These are perilous times in American history, and now more than ever, we need individuals who are willing to wage war on the ideological battlefield with like-minded individuals. And I can think of no better place to start than my friends at the Don't Unfriend Me show. So thank you for being here, and enjoy the show.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What's going on, everybody? Deborah Lynn says, I got my jacket today, and I love it. Good. That's what we strive for. Barb got hers, and she had a hole in her shirt. I've never had that happen before. In the history of the Don't Unfriend Me show. Never had anyone. Don't worry, Amy. We got your back. Just let me know how much the rental car is going to be. We'll figure it out. Okay. Great news, Matt. My son's neighbor, 82-year-old vet, does have my granddaughter's. Oh, nice. Documents of Freedom books. He'll get them to her when we get back home. Thanks again. No problem. My pleasure. Listen, there's so much going on, man, with people buying stuff. And it's like, we always want to make it right. We want it to be perfect. It's important to us because we know, listen, I worked for Apple. If you expect customer service not to be my thing, it's going to be it's going to be my bag, baby. So I care about it. I care about, now, I also care when people go ahead and try to be, could I get a discount? And yeah, I gave you one. Oh, can I get another one? No, you can't. Because I don't do that. And Apple doesn't give discounts, and I don't believe in discounts either. But what I do believe in is, whoa, that phone is right over my head, is if you have not had a chance, you may notice a few things. Things look a little bit different. Camera is going to look amazing. And the reason why is it's now in 4K. So colors will be brighter. There'll be more pixels. The blacks will be blacker. The white will be whiter. Is that racist? No. So it's going to sound better. So 4K is solid. So we upgraded the computer, and we're like, listen, we need a better production value for what we want. You're going to see, a lot, like in that opening intro with the Donald Trump thing, there was like 7 different video overlays going on. The old computer would have crashed. Little things like that. So we've upgraded some things to make it more effective, along with this phone, because what was wrong is that people were struggling to find how to shop on the site. So now I can access the phone directly. And if you see a shirt that you like, you're like, oh, wow, that looks good. Let's say, hey, I want to get the Christmas sweater because everyone asked for it. And I think Olivia and I are the only ones who ordered it. But you got your ugly Christmas sweater. Everybody wanted one. And there it is. So you just go to thedumbshow.com. That's simple. Pick your size, right? You want to pick your color. Don't get fooled because we have plenty of colors. And everyone thinks, okay, well, there's only black. No. And if you think I'm crazy, you can see all the different colors. Look at this. I think just in the Yeni sweater alone, there's like 12 or 13 different colors. So you pick that, you pick your size, and then you add it to cart, and then go to town. Use code DUM10, save 10%. So that's how you do that. Second thing, people ask, how do you donate? Well, we got it right down here, thedumbshow.com/donate. Our goal tonight is $250, usually what we do per night. It's hopefully well worth it. You'll find out. So you can see PayPal's right here. I've got my third monitor up. So I've got 1, 2, and 3. So I can just, do all the work that I need to do. I'll be looking up. Eventually, I want to get it over here. But anyway, go to donate here. You go click on PayPal. And right here, you just pick what you want. Donate. You can do a monthly, yearly. People do yearly donations. They do monthly donations. They do one-time donations. Real easy. Last thing I know, and then we're going to get to the show, but I got to do this every single time, is if you go to the Dumb News. Now, you might go, well, hey, I want to get some news. Well, the news has been a little slow because I've been focused on the election, and I'm going to get back to writing. It's been hard. But there's one other thing that I want to show you on top of this is going to wimkin.com, free speech social media. Folks, this is the best social media site. I know you're sick of Facebook. I know you're sick of all that. So it's real simple, and you have to do this. You got to put your name in. You got to choose a username, email, re-enter your email, password. Select your membership level, which is free, 100%. There is absolutely no charge. And then you got to go ahead and pick a picture. You go here and go to photo library or whatever you want on your phone and pick a picture. I'm going to be this douche plow who was trolling my site. Was a little bit weird. And then that's it. You say you read the terms and conditions. You say you're not a robot. And that's all, folks. Then in about 24 hours, you'll have a Wimkin account for free. 9 million people on the site. Jason runs a great site, and it's awesome. So now that we've done that, and I apologize for how long that takes, but I don't do it throughout the show. So we have a talk about donations at the beginning of the show, and then usually around 8:30, if we're not hitting, we talk about it, and then the rest is ad-free. And then, of course, Facebook doesn't put ads because Facebook doesn't pay us. That's why your donations are so damn important. All right. Where do we want to start? Yeah, Michelle, don't access. Don't go through Facebook because Facebook charges me every time you buy something through Facebook. So just go to thedumbshow.com. Real simple. It's a full mobile experience. I've built it that way. It's perfect. It's simple. It's easy. Just do that. Hi, Judy. How do you rate the store after you purchase? Within the next couple months, you'll get a request. I think I have it for 30 days after your purchase. That way you can enjoy it and play with it and stuff. Hey, Matt, are you worried about your property value going down with the clean out of DC? No, we're too far away. This area is recession proof. Where I'm at, people want to live because it's on the outskirts of, I'm closer to West Virginia than I am DC. Like I can throw a rock at West Virginia from my house. I mean, that's not a joke. I mean, like literally, if I had a 308, I could probably hit West Virginia from here. So, we're in a very nice area of Virginia. It's very high rated as one of the top places to live in America, Ashburn, Virginia area. So it's beautiful out here. So no, I'm not worried about it all. In fact, I think our prices will continue to go up because it's in high demand. They're not building up in Virginia because of zoning restrictions. So really, it's just all about building out. And there's only so many towns that they can build without going through a shit ton of trees and mountains and tough earth. And this is what we've got. So no, I'm not worried about that at all. Now that we've got that done, let's go ahead and go back to what we started here. Olivia is going to be taking care of donations, I believe. Right, Liv? I'm waiting for her to tell me what we're doing. Okay. Evie, come here. We don't use that word. Retarded isn't a proper way to express your frustration. Okay? You can say dumb, you can say stupid, but retarded, they've got tough enough lives, don't you think? Don't you agree? Okay. Good? Pound it right here. All right. Okay, so Olivia, the donations. Oh, there's one. Thank you, Bobby Richardson. Bobby got us started off. She likes to be that first one in $51.99. All right, let's go into our first thing. We've. I'm sorry it took so long. Here's what's cool is I can actually drop down the menus for articles from up here. So it's going to be a lot smoother if I don't do what I just did. It's going to be a lot smoother to get information. And trying to find out which article. There it is. Thank you, Stump. Appreciate you. So, prosecutors indict I got to figure out what's going on. I think it's just on the... Oh, don't lose you guys. What is going on? Okay, there it is. It just had to transition. Whew, that scared the shit out of me. Yeah, I haven't seen this computer get the rainbow wheel once. So it wasn't the computer, it was the program that was trying to access it. I have too many desktops open. So when I took it from up there and put it down here, the program had to figure it out. So the only limitations is going to be the program. All right, so prosecutors, this is on the Daily Wire. I want to give credit where credit's due to these lovely people, since I'm not able to do articles as much as I want to anymore. Indict trio for staging hate crime to elect left-wing Colorado mayor. Interesting thing. Hey, Leroy, what's going on, buddy? As you can see, there's a mayor sign that is spray painted over with the word Niger on it. But that's not the word. It's 2 G's. And then there is a burning cross. It looks like somebody just went to Home Depot and put some straw on a cross. And this is stupid. First of all, proportionately, that cross is horrible. It's just not to proportion. Not to scale, folks. Federal prosecutors last week indicted 3 people on charges of staging a hate crime involving the N-word and burning cross to help a left-wing candidate get elected mayor of Colorado Springs. Amazing how all of a sudden people are being indicted on the left. Yeah. I mean, they really didn't do that. Now they're doing, I wonder why. Prosecutors say Derek Bernard Ashley Blackcloud, and of course it's a Native American, right? And Deanna West. Sounds like a band. Who were affiliated with the self-styled minority-owned independent broadcasting and multimedia organization. Well, I don't even have a title that large. Wrote the racial slur on campaign sign for a black candidate, Yemi Mobolade. Erected and ignited a cross in front of it, photographed it, and sent it to the media in order to boost Mobolade's candidacy. How stupid. I mean, there's nothing like racism when you have to manufacture it, right? I mean, between this and Bubba Wallace with the noose and Juicy Smollett, and now this, for all the racism that's supposedly in the world, we sure have a hard time finding it, don't we? We sure have to manufacture a whole bunch of it in order to see all the racism in the world. Mobolade won the runoff election. Bernard allegedly texted him saying, "We got you through it all, brother." He texted Blackcloud suggesting he expected favors from Mobolade, sending a link to a city job opening and saying, "I want favors quicker rather than later." The day after the first election, Bernard wrote to Blackcloud, "I'ma just talk to you about a few plans," then texted Mobolade on April 13th to say, "I spoke with some of my friends in other places, and there's a plot amiss." Bernard allegedly texted Blackcloud, "They ain't trying to let an African-American win, but I got a plan." Is he still? Really? Early in the morning on April 23rd, the trio allegedly staged the hate crime and emailed photographs to Mobolade and media outlets from an anonymous email address. The email attempted to use the fake hate crime. 7:30 p.m. the same night, Bernard texted Mobolade, "I guarantee the finish," referring to a message saying he needed support to get to the finish line. Then he texted him, brother, some foul stuff came up in our email. The next day, he spoke with him on the phone for 5 minutes. The indictment notes say. The media bit on the story. KDVR wrote, in the midst of a tight race, racially charged messaging has surfaced, seemingly targeting the West African immigrant. Angela Stevens, the president of the Colorado Springs NAACP, said, we're looking into this as voter intimidation. Do we believe that it's a hoax? Personally, we don't. Of course you don't. It fits your narrative. Daily Wire got involved. Looks like the trio is charged, but nothing about the mayor being charged. It sounds like he was a co-conspirator. The Daily Wire asked a spokesperson for Mayor Moblade whether he was aware of the scheme, what he thought Bernard was referring to when he said he had a plot amidst his victory and what they spoke about on the phone for 5 minutes. Why his campaign indicated to the NAACP that it was a hoax, why Bernard would think he was owed favors by Moblade, and whether he sought or was giving any. Spokesperson Vanessa Zink replied with a statement from Moblade. Moblade says, that incident during my campaign led to a very traumatic time for my family, my campaign team, and our community. My knowledge and interaction with Bernard was a local media personality, and I was not aware at the time that he was suspected of this crime. I appreciate local and federal law enforcement work in pursuing justice and sending a message that we will not tolerate such reprehensible behavior. Who believes that? Is there one person who even believes this guy at all? In any way, shape, or form? Not a chance. Give me a break. This guy screams guilty. Not that I'm saying he's guilty. I mean, of course, allegedly, but still. The trio is charged with making false statements and threats using the "Thank you, Frank Wood" interstate commerce, having used the internet to make searches like contact news story about KKK email candidates' racist acts during campaign. Since allegedly staging the fake hate crime, Bernard was sentenced to life in prison for an unrelated murder in Texas. West is a fugitive while Black Cloud is in custody. That fucking escalated quickly. Holy shit. Did you hear that? So we're talking about it's no big deal, you know. I mean, talk about burying the lead. How about Colorado Democrat mayor works with murder suspects and racial stage incidents are at large. What? Daily Wire, prosecutors indict 2 trio for staging hate crime to elect left-wing Colorado mayor. Well, that's no big deal until we get to the end. Since allegedly staging the fake hate crime, Bernard was sentenced to life in prison for an unrelated murder in Texas. West is a fugitive while Black Cloud is in custody. Of course, they got the Indian. Holy God. Yeah, do you think maybe they should have put that at the beginning? What, Daily Wire? What's up with that? So you have a mayor. You have a mayor who is coordinating, cajoling, and talking with a murder suspect on the phone for 5 minutes. And you just thought he was a local personality? Thank you so much, Leroy Jenkins, best podcast in the whole wide world. Thank you, Leroy. You don't need to do that, but thank you, Leroy. You give a lot to this show. We love you and appreciate you. Thanks, buddy. So that's kind of weird, right? I mean, maybe I'm missing something. I'm reading. No, that's it. So you got a guy who's running for mayor, and you got a group of people who are like, well, let's go ahead and stage a racial a racially motivated political event. You know, I'm surprised they didn't say this is MAGA country. And they get a sign and they get a cross from Home Depot. It looks like 2 yardsticks. Put them together with a little bit of straw, light them on fire, take a picture of it. Like any self-respecting clucker is going to use balsa wood or wood stakes for a cross. Come on. There's one thing those douchebags do well, and woodworking is fairly effective. Everybody knows you don't use wooden stakes. Come on. You use fence post. Come on. It's pine. It's easier to burn. It absorbs gasoline more effectively. Listen, if you can't be a racist fucko, ask somebody who would know. I don't know anything about it. I haven't burned a cross since I was a wee lad. Who burns crosses anymore? Seriously, how stupid. What a dumb. Right then you're like, what's the report? They burned a cross? Burned a cross? It's like Juicy Smollett with a noose around his neck with bleach. I'm like, come on. If they have the presence of mind to put a noose around your neck and pour bleach on you, they're probably just going to shoot your ass. Give me a break. I'm going to make your skin white by pouring bleach on you. This is MAGA country. Everyone's like, listen, there ain't no fucking way a Trump supporter did that. Annie Putman, thank you so much. Yeah, so Sanders says, wow, this is the clearest I've ever seen anything on my phone. I know it's from your end, Matt. Yeah, we upgraded our computer system and we now broadcast in 4K. So you can watch this on a 75-inch screen and it will look amazing, sound amazing. So thank you, Christine Clark. Yeah, so it looks good for a reason. And this is the way it should have always looked, because we're broadcasting in the highest definition possible to all of our stations. We try. We try to make it look good for you. We try to do it right for you. Anyway, so I don't understand. So I'm going to follow this story. I hope you follow this story. I want to know why the mayor is talking with a murder suspect who's on trial. I mean, seriously. I mean, there's something afoot, Schmedley. Something very weird is going on. I mean, seriously. How if you're an investigator, how do you not immediately go, hey, somebody burned a cross on my lawn? Say, okay, we're going to go find the kids that did this. Now, I'm not saying that there's not Klan presence. I've told you a million times for 4 years, there is literally Klan right across our neighborhood. And they go out and they put out leaflets and boxes and shit. And no, they do not walk around with white robes. They're closeted. And if they even walked on our property, all of us would find out if blood comes out of sheets. Darla says, you're on my 55-inch TV and the picture looks fantastic, Matt. It should. It's not cheap to stream. Just letting you know. Thank you for all the donations, people. We appreciate it. I'm glad it looks good. That's important to me. I mean, that means a lot because we really try to make it look the best we can. And we're really excited to be able to broadcast in 4K. We have a special deal with Comcast. They give us an ungodly internet package. And so I think we're like 1.5 gigs down. And I think we're close to a gig up. Now, Comcast doesn't offer that to everybody, but when you have connections and you work for Comcast and you have a show and you're also taking 30 terabytes a month, they're like, okay, enough. You're putting a strain on our engineering plant. We're going to go ahead and give you your own line. We're going to untap it, and we're going to charge you a shit ton of money for it. I'm like, okay, it sounds good. Where's that story in Colorado? Great question. It's on the Daily Wire. Go over to the Daily Wire. Take a look. All right, next topic. Let's get to some of the breaking news. Taking questions too. It was in Colorado Springs, by the way. That's where it was. Let's go ahead and do this. I've got a video, and I told you guys just a couple of days ago about John Cornyn and Thune. and how they are absolutely 100% just douche plows. I mean, look at this. You've got Thune and Cornyn who are just on their liberty scores F. And liberty score basically means voting against the Constitution of the United States, voting against freedom, civil rights, et cetera, et cetera. And these guys are horrible. Well, of course, Cornyn yesterday, when they elected Thune, was like, he wrote a letter. I am going to back Donald Trump's candidates. I'm going to take care of those candidates. And we're going to get those candidates vetted and have their hearings and get them confirmed. Right? That's what he promised. Well, here he is today. Oh, douche plow. I really like having that extra monitor. I'm telling you, it makes it just drop stuff down, throw it away when I'm done. It keeps it clean. Okay, sorry. Listen to this. Damn it, my cup's in the way. All right. Okay. Oh, that's why. My sound. Hold on. I'm going to switch the sound. That's something I'm going to get. I'm going to get a sound switcher where I can switch it into this program versus on my speakers because I'm listening to music. Anyway, here you go. Listen to this.
Recess
on the issue of vetting,
be talking about recess
on the issue of vetting, though, how critical is it then to have access to what the House Ethics Committee has found in their investigation?
I think there should not be any limitation on the Senate judiciary be talking about recess
on the issue of vetting, though, how critical is it then to have access to what the House Ethics Committee has found in their investigation?
I think there should not be any limitation on the Senate Judiciary Committee's investigation, including whatever the House Ethics Committee has generated.
So you want to see it?
Absolutely.
Tulsi.
All right. Now, I said I want to see it because I do. I want to see it too. But he wants to see it for different reasons. There is a very large... Republicans do what they always do. Within the first 12 hours of meeting with Donald Trump and electing their uniparty in chief, there were already rumblings of people like Lindsey Graham, Hawley, Cornyn, even Thune, a few of the Murkowski, and others who said they were not going to vote for Matt Gaetz. Now, we're going to talk about the appointments, and everyone keeps asking me, Matt, why is he picking so many controversial people? There's a reason, and it's actually a really freaking good reason. But I told you last night that I want to see Tulsi Gabbard up there. I want to know why she was on the Do Not Fly. I want to know why. But everyone, because the Democrats hate her. Yay, I want to know why. Because that's not the reason it's put on the form. I want to see it. I want to know. And I want to know. I want to hear Matt. I want to know what the Ethics Committee found. Because here's the thing. The timing of this is very suspicious. Okay? Now, I am 100%, I've had a chance to think about it. I am for Matt Gaetz. I really am. And I'll tell you why in a second. But I'm also a pragmatist. And I also care about honor, integrity, the Constitution of the United States, and the rule of law. So if the Ethics Committee found something nefarious, and he's a 38-year-old male during the accusation with a 17-year-old, I want to know. And especially you want to know, right? Because we're the ones that are always, sex trafficking, Hollywood, the liberal elite, they're all the sex traffickers. God, my allergies are back at it. I don't think I've ever brushed my beard with this. It's literally my... I don't have the drip. It's itchy. Like I use heroin. Anyway, so I want to know. Because that's important, right? I mean, if he was with a 17-year-old girl, he flew her out of the state, and it's it's legitimate to ask the question. Why? Some people are like, oh, in some states it's legal. Listen, this guy's a 40-something-year-old man now. I want to know. Now, do I believe it? No, not until there's proof. No, it wasn't already proven false. Doty, it's not true at all. It wasn't proven false at all. The investigation moved over to the ethics committee, and there was a first investigation that overall was, the findings of it were inconclusive and were recommended to the ethics committee for further investigation. And the investigation has taken almost another year. Now, here's the problem, is that the findings of that were going to be released 2 days from his resignation of yesterday. So a lot of people are like, the timing's weird. The timing's weird. Yeah, that's what means the findings are inconclusive, because there's nothing to say he did or didn't. You still have to follow through with it when there's an accusation, and you still have to investigate it. So I just want to hear what the ethics committee says. Just like Tulsi Gabbard. Do I think Tulsi Gabbard is working with Russia? No. But I want to hear what they have to say. That way we know what they did. And with Matt Gaetz, I want to hear the same thing. Kevin McCarthy is a very powerful guy. The Uniparty is very powerful. There is no doubt in my mind that the Uniparty went after Gaetz, wanted to try to discredit him and destroy him. I understand, but I want to see it. I want to see it. Wasn't Gaetz the one who brought info to Trump during the presidency that they were trying to hide? Memory is bad tonight. We don't know what happened. There's witnesses supposedly that saw him and the young lady be intimate. And I don't listen. I will not say something unless there's proof, but I have to talk about it because it's in the news. So I'm not going to sit here and make a declarative statement that Matt Gaetz is innocent or guilty. What I'm going to say is he's innocent of everything. So's Tulsi Gabbard. So's Donald Trump on all the allegations they got him on, minus the 36, because they did find him guilty. Whether it was trumped up or not, we know it's going to fall by the wayside. We know they're going to dismiss charges. We understand all of this. But everybody's innocent. Tulsi Gabbard has done nothing wrong until they prove she has. Matt Gaetz has done nothing wrong until they prove she has. I want to see what they got. I want them to stand up on that podium and unzip their trousers and say, we didn't find shit. And then Matt Gaetz goes, awesome. Now let's talk about my experience. Let's talk about my credentials. Let's talk about the things that will make me a great AG. Tulsi Gabbard could get up there and go, great, let's talk about my military service. Let's talk about my service to this country and talk about the things that will warrant her getting DNI. Let's get this stuff out and then show that the Democrats are full of shit. I know McCarthy's after Matt Gaetz. I know that for a fact. For that I can say unequivocally right now. I can sit here and say without one iota of doubt, one scintilla of doubt, Kevin McCarthy has it out for Matt Gaetz. I know this for sure. And I'm not going to, you know what? I will say it. At Tammy's Diner, when we were all there, Kevin McCarthy had conversations with people. And this happened to be right about the time that things were about ready to start going haywire with the Freedom Caucus. And they were going to hit him. The rumblings are all over the place. And loose lips sink ships. And Kevin McCarthy has went on CNN, he's went on Fox News, and he's openly said that Matt Gaetz is essentially a danger and he would never vote for him and everything else. So there's no doubt in my mind that Kevin McCarthy doesn't like this guy. They almost got into it on the floor. Eli Crane backs up Gaetz. Lauren Boebert backs up. Well, somewhat. But you've got a litany of people in the Freedom Caucus who Matt Gaetz essentially is the head of the Freedom Caucus, and they support him. Maybe not the head, but he's certainly the most prominent figure there. I I just want to know that they weaponized more than Donald Trump, the DOJ. I want them absolutely to demonstrate that they did this to multiple people, because we know Obama did it with the IRS. We know they did it to Virginia parents, calling them domestic terrorists. We know they did it with people with the Don't Tread flag and the Appeal to Heaven flag and the 13 stars saying that we're terrorists. They've targeted everybody. Why would we be shocked that they would target Matt Gaetz? Is that all? They also got Jim Jordan too, and talked about the Penn State coaching thing. This is what happens. I want proof. I want exculpatory evidence that demonstrates what Matt Gaetz is accused of and what they said was actually something that's provable. And if he did those things, then we have to weigh it and say, okay, are they still together? No. Did they get married? No. Is she pregnant? No. Is there evidence that they had physical relationships? Maybe. All of those things need to come up. But a 38-year-old man being with a 17-year-old girl who is going to be the attorney general, that's a questionable thing, and we deserve an answer to it, right? Good. Good. President Trump and McCarthy are not enemies. Trump asked for McCarthy to be put back in, and he recommended him in the first vote. And then when they voted to replace him, Trump still stood behind McCarthy. See, Evelyn, okay, you guys, I know you think that Donald Trump's team is the government, but you can't vet somebody like the U.S. government can vet somebody. You have to understand is that a lot of the information that you would be privy to would be human intelligence, maybe some electronic intelligence. The U.S. government has all of it, from Facebook records to message. I can't go into details. I will just tell you, if the government wants access to it, they have it. Do you understand? If the government wants a piece of information that you possess, they will get it. Most of the time without your knowledge. So when we sit there and say, don't you think Trump's team would vet him? Yeah. But they're not going to have eyewitness testimony. They're not going to go ahead and have statements under prosecutorial affidavits and have somebody who's actually been deposed. They're not going to have access to those records. They're going to have medical records if she has some sort of evidence from a physical nature. All this type of stuff, they won't have that. Of course they do op-ed research. Of course they do, multifaceted investigations on people, but not to this level. He just got elected, y'all. Trump hasn't had time to vet all these people. Do you think he vetted all the people that he put forward in 2016? No. So if you have a sitting state legislator, that's vet enough. So no, he has not vetted these people. Not to this extent. That's not what happens. Now, if he was going to go ahead and get somebody off the street, a Tom, Dick, and Harry, once he's president, that's a completely different position. But no, I don't believe that he did a full investigation on Gaetz. He knew about these things, This wasn't a rumor. These were everywhere, and it's been everywhere. Oh my gosh. Lawrence, I'm sorry. I hope you're okay, man. I'm sorry you had to get that done. Ouch. Evelyn says, I know my mom was vetted. It's a different situation. Donald Trump wasn't even president-elect up until last week. These take time. And when you have a sitting state legislature, the vetting process is already kind of complete if somebody is sitting at that level. Things come out, but You have to understand, when you say vet, you check NCIC, you check criminal records, you check Interpol, you check the internet, you check accusations, you check local and state, you go have interviews with his high school friends. And so, yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about literally going up somebody's ass with a microscope. Donald Trump and team is not doing that because they don't have the capability to do that. They don't have the manpower to do that, the time or the money. Should have kept our mouths shut, not. I don't know what that means. Matt, what exactly is a shadow cabinet? The Dems are speaking of this. Well, this is the same name for the Uniparty. This is the same name for the World Economic Forum. And there is most assuredly a Uniparty inside the U.S. government. And these are people who are Democrats and Republicans who pretend they're at odds, but they have a very secret handshake relationship. These people went to the same college. Some of them were in the same dorms and fraternities and sororities. These people aren't enemies. They laugh. They go to lunch together. They go ahead and they golf with each other on the weekend. This is bullshit. This whole thing that they hate each other, it's just crap. Why do you think they say the distinguished gentleman from South Carolina? You know what I would do? I would say the dickhead sitting across from me in Kentucky. I don't feel that way about Rand Paul, but whatever, whoever it is. So the shadow cabinet, as far as that Donald Trump is using this as a head fake and nominating the worst people, therefore, when he nominates people who are slightly below that will grease the wheels. I don't believe that shit at all. I believe Donald Trump is making these decisions for a reason, and we'll talk about it. Oh, that Texas drawl is still in there somewhere at times. I know. I got that about Trump and RFK. Exactly, facts, Matt. Even employment keeps you from being hired from what you put on social media. Right. All right, so we just saw Cornyn. Now, I got to figure out how to, my borders. I'll figure it out. Okay. Here's Trey Gowdy. Now, you want to talk about Uniparty?
Talking about.
Here it is. What is going on with this thing? Okay, I need to fix this. Window. The edge of my my computer will not allow me to minimize this. What the Sorry, folks. God darn it. All right, I'm going to need to switch this then. It's weird. It's like my edge of my computer. I can't minimize my windows. And that is not good. And I can't. There it is. Definitely a glitch. That's weird. Okay. Here's Trey Gowdy.
George. So we'll see where that goes. When
the more you get to know Pete Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard, the more you're going to like her. The more you get to know Matt Gaetz, the less you're going to like him. I'm going to be really surprised if he can get confirmed.
Right. So would I, especially after how he blew up Kevin McCarthy. Had no plan B. You thought it was a lethal blow to the House majority, but it turns out America really wanted Republicans in charge. So we'll see where that goes.
So Brian Kilmeade, it really frustrates me because Brian Kilmeade is not a stupid man. But he says some really dumb shit. And it's just, it frustrates me. Trey Gowdy, listen, when I first saw Trey Gowdy, I was like, God, I like this guy. He's rank and file FBI. He's smart. He's intelligent. He's a Constitution. Trey Gowdy's a fucktard. And the fact that he is taking the side of this whole movement demonstrates that he's a uniparty shill. And the problem with Trey Gowdy is he comes from the days of Paul Ryan, and he's got that overall libertarian / through religion / Tea Party 2014 Republican Party crap going on. And I like Trey Gowdy. I like his mind. I don't like his politics sometimes. I don't know what side he's on. And that bothers me. There was another guy in the Paul Ryan, Trey Gowdy entourage. It was wasn't Nunez, but Nunez was friends with him. But Nunez was completely Trump. It was the guy that used to be on Fox, curly haired, black hair, looked like Adam Carolla. I can't remember his name. I'm going through it. I'm going through it in my head. Maybe you guys can help me. It's on the tip of my tongue. Trey. He was, God, what was his name? No, not Navari. No. Oh, I need to figure it out too, because you guys will know who I'm talking about. No, not Pete Navarro. No. Fox host, weekend, black, curly hair. God, what the fuck was his name? Oh, I got his name in my head. I can't even do it. He was in Congress with Gowdy. Not Claude Jean Pierre. Are you kidding me? Fox host, dipshits. Like, why? Okay, let me think. What was his name? Oh, shit. Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Jason Chaffetz. Jason Chaffetz is who it was. So, that was in the Paul Ryan, Trey Gowdy mix. And he is the same way. Now, he says that he's a Trump supporter. But this guy, oh, look at that. That almost fits him perfect. They're the same person. He's a clone. Jason Chaffetz. He's the same way. And honestly, Kilmeade hates Trump. I don't know if Trey Gowdy hates Trump, but he talks out of both sides of his mouth. I think he placates to the Trump base. And I think he knows that's what side the bread his butter is on. And I think Jason Chaffetz is the same way. And you know, when Paul Ryan left, Chaffetz and Trey Gowdy were all kind of the same. They were all bosom buddies, and they came. Lindsey Graham was in that circle, and that was kind of the uniparty shills that came in, were the old school conservative Republicans from the neocons. The people who said they were Reaganites, but they were more Bush. They were Bush people. Paul Ryan was Bush. Chaffetz was Bush. Trey Gowdy was Bush. These people are all kind of speaking the same. And when Donald Trump came in 2016, most of them resigned once their seats were up. I don't think Trey Gowdy served more than a couple of terms, and Chaffetz too. You don't do that unless there's a reason to leave. Paul Ryan was that way too, and he bailed and he left. But when the Trump MAGA party came in, these guys jumped ship. And they didn't support Trump. Now, Trey Gowdy will be like, yeah, well, yes, I did. I absolutely. So here's all the times. Jason Chaffetz will say, yes, I did. But all you got to do is look at their voting record. And all you got to do is look at what's happening right now. You got Trey Gowdy. You got Brian Kilmeade talking shit about Matt Gaetz. Why? What do they have to gain to talk shit about Matt Gaetz? So my whole point, do I think Jason Chaffetz is a bad guy? No, I think he's a smart guy. I like him. I think he's a horrible host on Fox. I don't even think he's doing it anymore. Trey Gowdy, he's an extremely smart guy. But there's only so many times you can hear Hillary Clinton, I'm going after Hillary Clinton, and then they don't do anything. Lindsey Graham, how many times did he say he was going to go after Hillary Clinton? He was going to go after the Obamas. He's going to go after Biden. He didn't do shit, and he doesn't do shit. Here's a perfect example. So I'm not trying to challenge their reputations. I'm trying to demonstrate that these guys
the more
are
you
not
get to
necessarily Trump supporters.
He won the election.
Because yesterday, Lindsey Graham was on one of the CNN or MSNBC. And they asked him about Matt Gaetz, and he's like, we'll see. We'll think about it. And what about the Duffys? I know the Duffys are on Fox. What about the Duffys? I haven't said anything bad about the Duffys. What are we talking about? The Duffys most assuredly were in that group. But the Duffys have proved themselves time and time again that they are supportive of Trump. But see, Kerry says those two were good during the Hillary hearings, but make terrible hosts on Fox. I don't think they were good on the Hillary hearings because we didn't get the job done. You know what I mean? We didn't get the job done. And the corruption that we're going to see in the next 4 years is going to get exposed. Here's Lindsey Graham. Watch him backpedal. He's such a fucking snake. I know that I shouldn't talk like this because someday, maybe Lindsey Graham would see me and go, oh, I want to talk to Matt Spade. Well, I can't. This is the research. This is what he said. I don't fucking care. Fuck you, Lindsey Graham. You're a wolf and a sheep. And you need to pick a side. Either be a wolf or be a sheep. But you are a warmonger and neocon. You want war in Ukraine. You want war in Israel. You don't care. This is who you are. You're a neocon. You're just like Paul Ryan. You're just like Trey Gowdy. You're just like Jason Chaffetz. You're just like all those guys. Lindsey's a stooge. Here's Lindsey. Listen. Now, you're going to be like, but Matt, he's defending him. That's not what he said yesterday. Listen.
He won the election. He deserves a chance to pick his cabinet. I am predisposed to allow him to do that. I think Matt Gaetz is very bright. I think he's qualified. He'll have a hearing, and he'll have some tough questions to answer. But to every Republican, please follow a process to give President Trump the ability to pick the people he thinks can do the job and give Matt a chance to prove himself.
And you have a history of that.
I do it for every...
Sean Hannity. I like Sean. I don't like Sean on Fox. I like Sean on his radio show because that's the real Sean. It's not the I do taekwondo or fucking kung fu and that's not him. I'm a tough guy. Sean Hannity is actually a really nice guy on his radio show, but I think he's a stooge on Fox. I mean, the fact that for 1 year, all he did was just repeat stats every fucking night. I'm just like, dude, enough. Say something. Have an opinion. Take a risk. Report the news. And this isn't me trying to break everybody down, guys. I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to just cast aspersions on people. These are things you know. And these are the things that we have to address. We need a youthful exuberance in the media. And that was my first point. It's not, we're going to change the people in Washington. We're going to get the weaponized DOJ. We're going to get the fucking panty waists and DOD and the military out. We're going to fix the FBI. We're going to get the public education to stop focusing on unions. He's going to do all these things, right? We need to change the media outlets for the better of America, because we're about 20 years away from completely abandoning cable TV. We're still, the contracts alone that have been signed, cable will stick around for another 20 years. And that's NFL contracts, NBA contracts, sporting contracts, TV contracts, miniseries TVs, plans, investments, loans, leasing airspace. All of that stuff is just too big. It will be the DVD market. It will be the VHS market. It will be the high 8 tapes. It will change. But for right now, people like Sean Hannity, multi-millionaires, are completely out of touch. And the one thing that you get when you get older and you've got a lot of money is you get out of touch. Now, that's the nice thing, is that I'm not completely out of touch yet. But trust me, I don't know what it's like to be poor anymore. I knew what it was like 20 years ago. I don't know anymore. I don't. I'm out of that realm in my life. But I can still relate to it because I deal with people every day who are struggling, and I do whatever I can to help, especially on this show. I don't think Sean Hannity is relatable anymore. He is an elitist. He rubs arms with frickin' Gavin Newsom. They high-fived each other on the floor of the debate. I'll show you this video. It's ridiculous. Sean Hannity comes up like a lost puppy and comes up behind him and looks all sheepish behind Newsom. And he goes, tap, tap. And Newsom does a double take and gets a big smile on his face, and so does Hannity. And he puts his hand out and he's just like, what's up, man? And you're just like, and then you ask Hannity and he's like, well, we just get along. We hit it off. Okay, that's cool, because honestly, I can understand that. There's people who we don't agree politically, but I like them. But dude, you're the one that talks shit about this guy. You're the one that calls him a far left communist and everything else. And you're just as bad as Biden, who, I mean, I'm going to show you those photos tonight. It's ridiculous. I mean, he's Hitler. And you're sitting there having tea and crumpets with him, for God's sakes. Are you kidding me? So I like Sean Hannity. I think it's time to move on. I think older people who have had their time in the light, and I'm going to be one of them soon, they need to move to radio. Radio's a good spot for them. I think Sean Hannity should leave Fox. I think Fox should revamp their entire network. And I think they should emulate what Donald Trump did and bring in top talent, young talent. Maybe you bring back Megyn Kelly. See if she'll do it. Maybe you go ahead and take some top conservative talent. Bring in some humor, like Terrence Williams. Bring him in. Maybe you see PPD, and he is absolutely has his own telecommunication company on the internet, and it's booming. But maybe you give him a show that will bring in some top talent. I don't know. But the days of having old white guys represent our party doesn't necessarily ring true to who we are anymore. This is a very young and youthful party now. And we brought in a shit ton of young people. We need to start talking to those people. I don't trust Lindsey Graham. I never have. I don't like him. He hated Trump. He was a never Trumper. And I don't expect him to do what's necessary. I really don't. I was talking to you about these photographs in regards to Joseph Biden and Donald Trump. I mean, this is crazy. First of all, Donald Trump looks good, doesn't he? This guy doesn't age. Everyone talks shit about Trump. He's got great genes, man. And he doesn't wear jeans. He looks exactly the same. He doesn't age since 2016. Joe Biden looks like somebody hit him with a truck. I mean, look at that. Look at his face. It's swollen. Donald Trump looks great. Looks great. But look at Jill Biden. They're looking at photographs. Oh, yeah. Is this Ivy real? Oh, my God. It's a creeping Charlie there, Donnie. You haven't seen a creeping Charlie? Yeah, they're really good in semi-human environments. Yeah, they do well in the winter. Yeah. Let's go ahead and sit down and look completely at peace with a fire in the background. Big smiles. Hitler, with the greatest leader the world has ever saw. Look at this. I mean, this is the Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy pose, right? This famous shot, with Bobby Kennedy and John, holding his hair in place of the wind. You've seen this shot. You got Donald Trump walking down the backside of the West Wing from the residence. Just Hitler and the greatest free leader in the world. This shows you that all of this is bullshit. If he really was Adolf Hitler, thank you for the donations, by the way. I think one came up or two. Thank you so much, folks. Yeah, we're getting close to that time. Folks, if you have not had a chance, go to thedumbshow.com and you can actually help the show. We request this if everyone has an opportunity and you go, wow, I really like the show. I want to give back. How do I give back to the show? This is how you do it, y'all. All you got to do is go over to thedumbshow.com. You go over there. 1 second. If I can get this thing to click. Excuse me, hiccup. Okay, so quick and easy way is you go over to thedumbshow.com. You just type that right up in here. And you type in /donate. That simple. This thing it's nice, but it gets buggy sometimes. There it goes. All right, dumbshow.com. You can come over and we have PayPal. We have mail. By mail, there's the P.O. box, and then Venmo, you can use that. And then also we have a little story here of who we are, our family, and everything else. And where your donation goes to, 100% goes to us minus the fee to PayPal or to Venmo or wherever else. And you just select whatever donation you want to do, $10, $5, $100, $1,000. It's up to you. We've had all of those donations and those denominations at one point or another. And it's really simple. You can do a monthly. It's like, hey, I want to give something a month. I want to do it yearly. You can do that. Or you can just go ahead and start off and do 10. Or if 10's too much, you can go right here to other and you can just put in your amount. Real simple. I want to give $1. We've had people give $1 before, and that means the world to us. Then you can add 53 cents to cover the fees, because that's what it would be. It'd be 53 cents at $1. But the cool thing is when you give a little bit more, the fees are lower. And the higher you go, the lower the fees are. But you can always jump in and help us cover the fees. And they take about 10%. And that's fine. It's a banking thing. We don't mind. So anyway, if you want to help the show, you want to make the show go, you can see there's people right down here. 166.29. These people have helped the show tonight. I'll go ahead and take off the goal, and I will actually scroll the names down below here. These are the people who help and give us a bunch of assistance to keep this show going. Facebook demonetized us. We get our money from Wimkin, who is a wonderful, wonderful social media site with a great owner named Jason Shepard, who helps us out and sponsors the Don't Unfriend Me show. But it's not enough, and you help us out. If you do that and you decide to go ahead and donate, please go over to wimkin.com as well, and you can actually register and get yourself an account. We're talking 9 million people. This is a free speech network over at Wimkin. You want to put your name in? Pretty simple. Choose a username. Don't forget it. Email, re-enter your email, put in a password. Don't forget it. Membership, just pick free. And if you want to give back to Wimkin, you can upgrade later, or you can go ahead and do it now. It's up to you. And go ahead and pick a profile picture. Pretty simple. And then sign up. In about 24 hours, you will have access to Wimkin, and you will be able to share and follow the Don't Unfriend Me show. We're over there. Roseanne Barr is over there. Emerald's over there. We have a bunch of people. Also, our good friend, Ryan Samuel. So stop on by, say hello, go to Wimkin, and please consider donating to the Dumb Show. If you like what it is and you like what we do, giving back is a beautiful way to let us know. I want to show you one thing real quick, and this is important. Here are the Don't Unfriend Me election results. And this doesn't mean, oh, hey, we deserve a bunch of money for that. I'm just trying to show you that our results for the election were spot freaking on. We called it for Trump. We called Senate control for Republicans. We called House control for Republicans. We called the gubernatorial, which are the governors, for Republicans. I broke down almost 4 weeks before the election, the swing states and why Donald Trump was going to win all 7 swing states, with a little bit of a caveat to Michigan. Wasn't quite sure, but we saw the numbers and they were so close. I said that benefits Trump, and it did. We called the popular vote. I told you he was going into New Mexico, going to New York and Rochester, going to California, and going to these places to try to go after the popular vote. We then predicted on election night what the popular vote would be, between 2.5 and 3 million. We're sitting at 3 million right now. By the time it's all counted, it's probably going to be 2.75 million, which was within our guess. We also, on October 12th, gave you an electoral map with 312 electoral votes. It did not change. And guess what? We nailed the number. We beat ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, The Daily Wire, The Crowder Show, Ben Shapiro, Karl Rove, and everyone else. That is why we have to continue this thing. We need your investment. We need your help. Please keep the Dumb Show going, because we're doing good work here, and we need your help. All right, there's my pitch. We do that at the beginning of the show and then once right after the middle. Now remember, if you can't afford it, don't give. It shouldn't be give till it hurts. It should be give till it feels good. If you're struggling, and a lot of people are, please don't do it. We're going to be okay. We'll survive. But if you can, and you got a few extra bucks, and you're like, hey, I want to help out the Dumb Show, we would appreciate it. Thank you to the donation that I did not see that just came in. Whoever you are, thank you, and I appreciate you. Olivia keeps putting those in. I'll see if I can find it. I can't. I don't know who did it. Whoever did it, thank you very, very much. Let's get into the rest. So this is just surprising, right? It's just surprising, you know? But honestly, I thought it was a great video. I thought the peaceful transfer of power. Donald Trump goes in there, says some nice things about Biden. Biden says some nice things about him. They talk about the transition. The left is going nuts. The left is, I told you, Joe Biden hated Kamala. Hated Kamala. All right, let's talk about RFK. RFK, Tulsi Gabbard. Oh, let's do that first. I'm going to tell you why the left lost the election. And I've broken it down. I did a really solid article, I think, over on the Dumb News. You can go read it. And I give you the numbers. Can I just tell you why? Now, ladies, when I say this, I'm not talking about MAGA or MAGA, however you want to say it. I'm not talking about you. But I'm going to say this the nicest way I know how. After the third and fourth wave of feminism, which was no longer about burning your bra, which was no longer about equal pay or not being grabbed by the hoo-ha at work, it became about two things: murdering children and hating men. And men have been castigated into a role. And this role is an ineffectual, weak, beta male who must be effeminate and, most importantly, docile, and literally curtail their entire existence to how to be a better woman. And that's the truth. And if we go back into the third and fourth wave, there was a time in the first and second wave where men would say to women, you just have to learn to be stronger like a man. You just have to dress a little more appropriately and not have your skirt hiked up. You need to think like a man. You need to be strong like a man. And that shit was completely just stupid. And it's really dumb for the Liberal Party to try to turn men into effeminate versions of women. We're not women. There are distinct differences between us, and we're fine with it. And in no way, shape, or form should anyone have expectations for a woman to be a man or try to be a man or be more manly in order to get along in a man's world. I'm sick and fucking tired of women telling me that I need to be more effeminate to get along in a woman's world. Because ladies, we just fucking proved that you aren't as strong as you think you are. Now, once again, I'm not talking about the people on this show. I'm talking about this DEI, equity and diversity, feminine Nazi bullshit that men can't be men. I'm done with it. I have no desire to be sensitive. I have no desire to have a man bun. I have no desire to wear skinny fucking jeans. I have no desire to play the role of some father who comes home and is literally like ostracized by his entire family as they ridicule and make fun of him as he is the dumb one, the lazy one, the fat one, and somehow the wife is the most intelligent on the planet. It is literally dyslexic Ozzy and Harriet. And as it was a sign of the times then, this is not a sign of the times now. Men are strong. We're opinionated. We are the protectors. We are the defenders. We believe in chivalry. At times we can be too arrogant and boastful. Other times we can be too harsh and aggressive. But you take the good with the bad. Because ladies, your shit stinks too. You're fucking moody. You demand too much of us. You want preferential treatment. You treat us like sex is a weapon. We get chastised for hanging out with our friends, or maybe we want to go ahead and have a midlife crisis and buy a new car, and we have to literally beg on the hands and knees because that is the type of lifestyle that you're saying should happen, that the woman controls the man. And I'm here to tell you that America said fuck no to that. We believe in the family unit. We believe in the matriarch and patriarch are equally important in a nuclear family, in a family that needs to have a mom and a dad. And we are tired of hearing you say that women can be men and men can be women because it's fucking stupid and it doesn't make any sense and you don't even believe it. You're living in this fairy tale world. You live in these fairy tale world that you can just make stuff up like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. Grow up. Men can't have babies. We don't want to. Men shouldn't wear dresses. We don't desire to. If you want to wear a dress, go for it. But I don't care how much you wish, how much you pray, how much you go ahead and espouse. You're not a fucking man and you're not a woman unless you are a man and you are a woman. Now, I'm cussing and I'm pissed because we scream from the rooftops. Every type of person, including women who disagree with you trivializing their husbands as some brainless fucking automaton. I'm sick of watching the sitcoms where we got to applaud every time the man fucking, puts 2 + 2 together. Like there's some sort of monkey or orangutan in the zoo. Men are strong. We built this country. We build and we are the centerpiece to our families along with our wives. We are defenders, we are protectors, we are men. And we don't want you to try to define us. We don't want to be desensitized. We don't believe in what you believe in. We don't want to be emasculated and castrated. We want to put our hand down our pants. We want to go ahead and drink our beer. We want to have our pizza. We don't give a shit. Just let us watch our sports and leave us the fuck alone. The Democrat Party has tried to redefine what a man is in this country, and it needs to stop. It ends now. Because blacks, Mexicans, Asians, women, poor people, rich people, Jews, Catholics, Christians, Protestants, Presbyterians, Latter-day Saints, Orthodox, everybody said no more. You guys have went to cuckoo for Cocoa Puffsville. You went so far left, so progressive, that you somehow missed the get off at this exit before batshit crazyville. And America pulled the brakes and said, no, this is where we stop. We are going back. And there's not a fucking thing you can do to stop it. So we're not going back. We're not going back. We went back. We're going back to a simpler time. We're going back to a time where people can just be whoever the fuck they want and mind your own business. That you leave our fucking kids alone or you will reap the whirlwind of the matriarch and patriarch's wrath. Mama bear and Papa bear, full force, teeth, claws in your face. The days where we don't label people domestic terrorists because they want to actually read the curriculum that their kids are teaching. Because when they walk in and they say, oh, I'm cisgender or I'm non-binary, our first reaction is, what in the flying fuck are you talking about and who taught you that? We don't want to hear that 1619, that the 1619 Project built America. You know what? No. We already listened to the Daughters of the Confederacy. We listened to their revision history. We don't fucking care. We understand black history is not taught to the same level of white history. And you know what? Then take 50% of the population to 65% of the population and we will. Until then, we are going to try to go ahead and teach American history. And a lot of that is white history. We're sorry you don't feel good about that. And if you don't feel good about that, then you should want school choice and you should vote for Republicans so you can get out of the inner city cesspool. You can get out of curriculum that's 50 years old because they can't afford anything else. And start doing public schools, start doing private schools, start doing vouchers, start doing in-home education, and let's start teaching our kids what they need to know to be successful versus identity politics. Black history is great. You can take the African American studies in college. You can take that at a 2-year. Why don't we just do this and start giving them skill sets to be successful? Let's stop telling them that men need to stay home, that men need to take gender-affirming studies, that in the workplace that we need to take white fragility classes, that we need to take unconscious bias classes. I am conscious of my biases, and you deserve them. The liberals had transgender people grab their cunts, grab their cocks, fuck another man on the White House property and in congressional chambers. They did some rendition of the Nutcracker with transsexuals and fucking who. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing every day that we need to look at the diversity. I don't care about the diversity. I don't care how many gay people are, black people, Catholics. We don't need identity politics in America anymore. We need common sense. We need to promote and help people be successful no matter what the color, no matter what their religion or sexual disposition is. Stop making that the only thing that people are about. Stop taking people to their lowest common denominator. And America has said no more. So here, I'll say it right now. Donald Trump has a mandate. They want his policy. 63% of Americans want mass deportation. 71% do not believe in late-term abortion. 71% of Americans are sick and tired of the way the government's going and think it's off track. They want a solution for the border. They want fentanyl out of our streets. They want crime down. They want sanctuary cities gone. They want progressive DAs gone. They want to stop giving their money to Ukraine. They want to stop sending our money overseas and protecting everyone else but the United States. They want American businesses back. They want jobs back. They want to have options for their education. They want to have their insurance and their medicine and prescriptions to have options. They want the free market to work. They want to be able to create businesses without the government penalizing them for it. They want a lack of legislation, smaller government, lower taxes, low inflation, low interest rates. And they want our GDP to be through the fucking roof and to stop spending the amount of money we're spending. We're at $36 trillion in debt. We hit 50. It's ball game. So I will say this. Matt Gaetz, yes. Tulsi Gabbard, yes. Anyone that pisses off liberals is the right person for the job. I don't care anymore. I'm not worried about getting in a world war because we have lived under that for the last 4 years. I want people who put America first. And you may not like Matt Gaetz, and you may be scared of him, and all I can say is good. I hope he clears this shit up and he brings charges against every one of these people. I hope we look into embezzlement. I hope we look into fraud. I hope we look into campaign contributions. I hope we look into where money is coming from. And I hope he cleans house. I hope he takes it all the way back to frickin' Obama. Hell, take it back to Bush if you want. Go after Cheney. Go after these people and hold them accountable. Let's have an open forum about what the United States government has done to this country and done to our people because the secrecy doesn't work anymore. It's the biggest lie in Washington. We know you spy on us. We know you don't like us. We know it's you against us. And the Constitution of the United States is no longer for you. It never was. It's ours to protect you from doing the shit that you're doing. So yes, put Vivek Ramaswamy in there. Put every single, go get Eli Crane. Make him the director of the FBI. I don't care. I want people who are completely 100% free of Washington, D.C.'s corrupt, toxic, malignant shit. I want people who can't be bought. So yeah, I want Elon Musk and Vivek to go ahead and have a completely separate, not being paid oversight of the spending and the frivolous waste that we have in a non-government entity, because that's like taking the addict of gambling who is blowing your children's college education and having him do your finances. The reason we are here is because of the government, at no fault of the people of this country. I want people who are practical. I want pragmatists. I want people who are level-headed. I want people who don't care about Republican or Democrat. They care about the rule of law, and they care about honor and good. and honest. I want people who serve America and not their own pockets. So confirm Matt Gaetz. Confirm Tulsi Gabbard. And confirm anyone else. RFK. Yes, everybody. Because you know what? We've seen the PhDs and we've seen the doctorates. And you know what? Those fucking people have done no good. We're $36 trillion in debt. They're failures. They're like the public education system. They're like the U.S. Postal Service. They're like Social Security and welfare. Your experts suck. Your experts are rich, uppity fucking elitists who want to fluff their bank account. Let's put the working class people, let's put some people with some calluses on their hands in power and see what happens. Let's give it back to the people. And that's what you're scared of. You're scared of Matt Gaetz. You're scared of Tulsi Gabbard because she's self-made. And you know what? You really hate RFK and Tulsi Gabbard, not because they're dangerous, not because they're Russian assets, not because they're conspiracy theorists, because they repudiated your fucking policies and they were once one of you, and you punish everybody who leaves your party. You destroy anybody who steps out of line. That's why you hate Tulsi Gabbard. That's why you hate RFK. And we sit here and pretend like we don't know the reason. Everybody knows why. I woke up this morning and I thought about Matt Gaetz, and I was a little nervous last night, and today I slept like a baby. And when I woke up, I'm like, you know what? They're terrified of these guys. They're terrified. Pete Hegseth, one of the nicest human beings you could possibly meet, a Christian, a warrior, and a warrior poet, and they're scared of him. You know what? Good. Good. I'm glad you're scared. Run for the fucking refrigerator. Run for the shadows, because the light's coming. So you're asking me, why is Donald Trump appointing all these people who may not get confirmed? Because Donald Trump is going to do whatever he can to get them confirmed. And he will use whatever tools he has necessary to get these people, because he's not going to make the mistakes he made last time. He is done with the establishment. He is done with Washington, D.C. And damn it, Democrats, the people out there, the citizenry, independents, Democrats, Green Party, whatever you are, lead, follow, or get the fuck out of the way. You agree with us. You can't stand government corruption. You're sick and tired of it. You're tired of it. Yes, I'm sorry about abortions, but that doesn't mean you throw the baby out with the bathwater too soon. Maybe you guys do. But one thing you hate more than that is you hate corruption. You hate greed. You guys are sitting here and saying that Donald Trump won because he's the billionaire party. This is the shit that you guys actually say. This is Jesse Piper on Twitter. Listen to this shit. She's a moron. Just an absolute dipshit. But listen to what she has to say.
I'm not upset today because my team didn't win. I'm upset because I'm seeing...
By the way, the moment a person says, they start a video, I'm not upset, but you're upset. Just say it. We were pissed in 2016. We were upset. We were mad in 2020. We thought 2016 that Republicans were going to back up Trump. We got mad. They didn't. They sandbagged him. The Democrats dropped a $2.1 trillion omnibus bill on top of his head and held the Defense Department spending hostage. We were mad. We were mad in 2018. We were mad in 2020 when Trump lost. We were mad in 2022 in the midterms and the primaries. We were mad in March and June with Afghanistan and what Joe Biden did to our troops. We were mad in 2024. That's why we won. We're mad. We're still mad. We just won everything. We just literally hit blackjack on 4 different hands. We also pulled and put $5 in Wheel of Fortune, and we just hit 5 wheels. We just bet it all on black, and we hit that too. And we just dropped trip aces on freaking poker. We won it all, and we're still mad. We're still pissed. And we're not going to be done being pissed until we get this government fixed. We need to take money out of politics. We need to destroy this. We need to, yes, Citizens United needs to go. But that's not why you lost. This moron is going to tell you she's not mad. And she is mad because I've read her post. It's all Trump hate. Here's her comment.
Democracy fail. And if you study history, you know that democracies are more than likely going to fail at some point. They fail more often than they stand.
No, they always fail. There is not a successful democracy in the world outside of the United States ever, period, ever. That is why we are not a democracy. We are a republic. We care about the individual rights. Mob rule is not something we do. We're an elected representative government who uses for elections democratic ways of election. That's it. We're not a fucking democracy. You people need to stop saying that shit. The reason why we have been successful in this form of government is because we are a hybrid government. And the only thing that protects us are three documents: the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence. And these documents hold the key to our success, coupled with an economy that's based by free market capitalism, free trade. Now, don't get me on the tariffs because I'll hit you on that too. We also don't have an established religion. We don't have an established language. We are a melting pot, and we are an amalgamation of the best parts of the world. This is why we're successful. We're not a fucking democracy. We're a multifaceted level of government with checks and balances to ensure that the power is always protected and goes back to the people. Swallowed too much oxygen, sorry. Going on for too long. Yapping my gums. This is who we are. This is our country. We're not a democracy. Yes, democracies fail. And all the ones we've tried to install, the 26 around the world with nation building, they have failed. Jess is right about that. She's right. And democracies always fail. That's why we're not a democracy.
This isn't Democratic or Republican policies. This is an oligarchy. J.D. Vance was installed by Peter Thiel. He's a billionaire. Elon Musk, he's a billionaire. Rupert Murdoch, he's a billionaire. The people behind the Heritage Foundation, they're all billionaires. A democracy does not work for these people. These people need a permanent underclass. They need cheap labor or free labor if they can get it. Talking to friends and experts across the country about what this looks like, because we can witness it in other countries like Russia and Turkey. But what does it look like here? What's going to happen here? It's not the fact that my team didn't win. It's much worse than that.
Okay, so let's address it. All sounds beautiful. All sounds strong. All sounds real. And guess what? She's right. She's right. The billionaire class does need a working class. Every society has levels of success. The difference is, can you please, yes, and I agree with you, 49% of America is left behind. 51% have an opportunity to be successful, and that's really what it comes down to. Please tell me another form of government, another economic system that even remotely exceeds those numbers. There isn't one, and it's not even fucking close. But here's the thing, the 49% don't have to stay there. The 49% can better themselves. They can advance themselves with experiential learning and schooling and practical application of skill sets to eventually take the low that pushes the middle, surpasses the middle, and they break the plane of the 51%. You might say, well, what happens with somebody who has a lower education? Those people have advantages. Those advantages are we don't kill them. We don't abort them like Scandinavian countries do before they're even born. We don't base it upon that. We don't genetically alter our children. We don't chemically castrate or shouldn't chemically castrate our children. We shouldn't tell them they're something that they're not. We shouldn't tell them they can be something that they can't. They have an advantage over the rest of the free world, is that you can make what you want and how well you want to do in the United States of America. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what religion you are. And I don't care if you pee sitting up or sitting down. You can be successful because I don't have a college degree. And I have worked for Fortune 15s. I have had $2.1 billion P&Ls. Don't tell me you can't do it. It takes hard work. It takes sweat. It takes fear to be overtaken. It takes compromise for negotiate your feelings. Get out of your feelings. Get out of your self-pity. But to say that billionaires, that's what she's going to say, fine. She's right. But let me tell you something. Donald Trump against Hillary Clinton spent $512 million. She spent $2.1 billion. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden combined will clear $1.8 billion for their campaign. Donald Trump spent $351 million. He had more small donations than any other Republican in history. Donald Trump wasn't bought by billionaires. Donald Trump is a billionaire, you dumb. Oh, I'm not going to say it. So when you sit here and you point fingers, it is because you're a Democrat, because you're not calling out both parties. You're not calling out Citizens United. You're not calling out the political action committees. You're not calling out Planned Parenthood. You're not calling out the green fucking New Deal. You're not calling out the frivolous spending of Democrats. You're not blaming Joe Biden for inflation. You're not calling out the overall regulations that he did that throttled energy. You're not talking about the border. You're not talking about fentanyl. You're not talking about sanctuary cities. You're not talking about the money, $150 billion going to Ukraine. What could $150 billion do for our schools? What could $150 billion do for our roadways and bridges? The problem with Jess is that she has too much knowledge and practically applies it to her party and refuses to shine the same light that she shines on Republicans and Donald Trump. Donald Trump, his goal, just to let you know, is to cut trillions out of the deficit, not B, T. Donald Trump is fully aware of what Leroy and I have been telling you and all the greatest economists in the world. And what we've been telling you is that once we hit $50 trillion in debt, we are done. We won't even be able to pay our interest with the revenue that we take in. That is the day that America will become completely bankrupt and the world will follow suit. This isn't about global warming. This isn't about we've had 6 inches of water rising over 100 years. This isn't our carbon footprint's too big. No, it's not about Social Security is going to get defunded. Shut up. Worry that everything ends when we hit 50 trillion. Donald Trump wants to cut money. And when you cut money, political action committees and the influence of all the dark money in Washington goes away. And these people who have worked to get into these positions to become rich with money, power, and votes are terrified of losing their money. That's what this is about. Billions of dollars annually change hand in Washington, and people use stock markets. Well, when you have somebody in the FEC who is actually going to look over this, you're going to look over trading. You're going to look over politicians, maybe pass some reform where politicians can't invest, can't buy stocks, can't have their husbands buy stocks that you tell them with pillow talk to invest in and you become a multi-millionaire because of it. This is when it changes, and they're terrified of it. So yeah, I'm fine with Tulsi Gabbard now. I'm fine with Matt Gaetz. I'm fine with RFK. And anyone that scares the shit out of this people is the right person for the job, because we've tried Harvard-educated dickwads. Let's get some people who've pounded sand. Let's get people who've been downrange. Let's get people who have risen up and seen the Democrats and how they work and transfer it over to Republicans. Fine. Tulsi Gabbard, you got my sign of approval. Let's go to RFK. Somebody who said that he's a conspiracy theorist. But you know what's funny is you can't disprove what he says. You can only go ahead and call him a conspiracy theorist. Let's put that guy in. Let's put in Pete Hegseth, the guy with 2 Bronze Stars, versus the stupid son of a bitch that just throws medals on his chest that he hasn't fucking earned, the fat fuck. Like Miley, who commits treason with China and doesn't get held accountable. You know what? Screw the flag officers. Let's bring in some people who've actually seen some dirt, who've chewed dirt, who've drank water from foreign lands. Let's go get those people, because they know what our veterans go through. I'm done. I'm done with the elitists. Let's get the working man and woman in Washington and let's see what happens. Because there was a time that those were the only people who were elected, the people who understood what the people were going through back home. And whether it was tobacco or land rights or mules or acreage or a dispute over town water, they sent the hardest working person. They sent the person who understood the people. They didn't send the fucking educated, college-educated person from Boston. It was the person who broke their back. It was the person who ran the plowshares and would pull the oxen out of the mud when they got stuck. Those are the people you sent, because they had honor and integrity, and you knew they would not bend and they could not be bought, and that town would be protected when they went ahead and represented the people. Let's get those people back. So yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with Tulsi. You know what? Tulsi Gabbard and I are good now. Unless I find out something that is just horribly damaging, go Tulsi fucking Gabbard. Because I trust Donald Trump. Because he is the only politician that I have seen that has been bought. And there's a few more. But they aren't the ones in power.
I'm not upset.
They need to get them in power now. We don't need term limits in politicians. We need to stop suppressing our own votes. We just prove that. Every year we can vote these people out. We have to have more conviction and more passion, and we have to vote scared. Thank you, Arnold, for your donation. Folks, we're close. We're $43, $33 away. If you have a chance to donate, please go to thedumbshow.com/donate. I apologize for the language. I'm passionate. I'm upset. Because people like this. Now, I know this is a Samoan thing, and yeah, I get it. But this shit's got to stop. These people are clowns. These people are activists. They don't do anything. They don't write any books that people really care about. They don't write songs. They don't propose legislation. They don't make anything. All they do is create conflict so people vote for them, and they do grandstanding. These people are all on a fucking reality show. Most of them. This is a perfect example. Yeah, I understand it's a part of your culture. I understand. Your culture is stupid. Can you imagine if people start drawing pentagrams and lighting candles on the middle of the floor? You're representatives. Grow up. I understand Samoan. I understand the tribal dances, and I understand getting in line with your chakra and your power and all. I get all of it. Okay, it's great. It's fun. It's awesome. Great. Who cares? I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the theatrics. I'm just so done with it. I don't care about Hunter Biden. I don't care about your chakra. Okay? I don't care about your Samoan heritage. I don't care about whether you drink mash or sour mash or whiskey or vodka. I don't care about any. Just do your fucking job and pass policy. And get America back on track and start holding these people accountable. It is time for the witching hour. It's a Samoan ritual. It's a warrior chant and call. It's actually a very powerful thing. And it's a beautiful thing when it's done right. That shit is just not it's not the place. Go do that shit on the weekend. Don't do it in chambers. Just do your job. Yeah, I don't even think it was the United States, but it just shows you where everyone else is. The All Blacks do it in rugby. It's Samoan and Pacific Islanders. I don't even know. I've heard it before. I don't care. The point is, stop it. Stop being an idiot. Just do your damn job. Ladies and gentlemen, this lady right here. Folks, we're really close to the goal. Olivia, check the goal, please. Sorry. This lady, you guys remember? She was standing right next to Thune. Check the goal, please. Yeah, I was just there. Go again. Thune. She was standing right next to him. Shelley Moore Capito from West Virginia. Her Liberty score is an F, 43%. This lady said today the following. Refuses to support Matt Gaetz for AG. When asked by Politico, she said no comment. When asked by Fox, she said he will have to go through the Senate process. I don't. Republicans, this is what you should say. We're going to do everything we can to pass as quickly as possible and certify these people for their positions. We will have our hearings. We will come together. We will have conversations. And we will stand behind Donald Trump and his selection to his picks. That's the answer. What you do behind closed doors, who cares? Joanne, thank you so very much. Whatever happens behind closed doors, we don't care. Say all you want. Say Matt Gaetz is a dick. From now on, you stand shoulder and shoulder. And I'm telling you, man, you better whip these guys into shape because we need to have a unified front. We got 2 years to make some impact. We've got to stop this stuff. It doesn't do any good to have infighting. Couple more videos. Here is the FEMA supervisor and her full answer in regards to, she's shifting stories now. Not people with Trump signs in their front yard were ignored and completely neglected because they were Trump supporters. She did it for her safety because they were afraid that Trump supporters were going to hurt them. Listen to this bullshit.
No, the highlight here is the Trump campaign signage. But if someone is in another, like an urban community, and it's a different culture and someone feels uncomfortable, we can't go to that home. If you have loose dogs and someone on the team is comfortable with dogs and another person is not, we can't go to that home because of safety precautions.
So you feared the Trump houses. The people on FEMA were fearing the Trump houses like they were fearing people with vicious dogs in their backyard.
Exactly. And that's based on the trends. You can ask FEMA for incident reports. They have those because they ask us to report out if there's an incident at home. And unfortunately, again, again, the passionate supporters for Trump, some of them were a little bit violent.
But all of them were painted with the same broad brush. All of them as being, we're not going to go near these because we think.
Wow. You know, can I just put this in perspective real quick? Let me go ahead and do this. I am a FEMA supervisor, and I am in Birmingham, Alabama, where a hurricane hits. And I go ahead and I run some data points and find out that in Birmingham, 72% of the crime is from black people. So therefore, every single house that I go to with a black person in front of it, I say, I can't help them because they're black. That is what you just did, bitch. So much for racism is black people can't be racist, because you and I both know you didn't help white Trump supporters. You left them behind and you abandoned them. You painted them all with a brush. You stereotyped, you were prejudiced, bigoted, and most importantly, racist. You should spend the rest of your fucking days in jail.
They're all bad people.
No, because some were registered. Some did receive case inquiries and updates.
Yeah.
Some of them came outside and said, hi, I appreciate what you're doing. I would like to participate. And then some were very vocal and firm that they didn't want anything to do with FEMA, and they thought that we were crooks.
And lastly, we've got to go. We're running out of time here. Did this also happen in other places? This was Florida, but did it happen in North Carolina? Did it happen in other places?
Georgia as well. Just ask the crew leads and the specialists. They will discuss their avoidance and their de-escalation methods in the field. Okay. And I think Ms. Criswell would be happy to know what's going on.
Well, the good news is Ron DeSantis is suing your ass. So he is suing in Florida, and I anticipate North Carolina, Georgia, and other places will do the same. RFK, this is possibly, by the way, I did say HHS, and it looks Health and Human Services. Looks like I got that pick right with RFK. Here is, and don't even, I already, listen, I told you I don't share picks. I told you everything about the election. I put my name on the line. The entire team did. I'm not afraid of telling you who I think is going to be a pick. But I don't want to do it online. I don't know why. And I just don't feel right doing that. It's not my place. And I don't like making predictions. I have a good idea of who he's going to pick for his economic plans, who he's going to pick for transportation. I think you just need to go back and look. But I've got my ideas. I've given you a little bit of a hint. Last night I talked about RFK. I told you where I think Mike Rowe possibly. There's some things that I think will happen, but it's Donald Trump's decision. I back him up 100%. And you guys know RFK, I got my doubts about him. But honestly, I'm done. In Trump, I trust. I'm done. I got to give the man my support. I voted for him. Until he proves me otherwise. I full-throated 100% support for his picks. Even Marco Rubio. I thought about Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio is one hell of a. He's going to make a great Secretary of State. I know he's got his problems, but man, internationally, he knows his shit. Speaks foreign languages. He knows South America extremely well. He's going to be fine as Secretary of State. But let's listen to RFK. And folks, thanks for helping us hit goal yet again. I appreciate you tremendously.
What most Americans innocently put into their bodies these days, and most alarmingly, into the bodies of their children. And it's no coincidence that Americans die earlier than Canadians or Germans or Italians or Japanese or Koreans or Australians or most any other comparable country. And it wasn't always that way. Until the early 1990s, our life expectancy was the same or better than other developed countries. Then suddenly, more and more Americans began suffering from chronic diseases, from obesity, cancer, diabetes, kidney disease, Alzheimer's, heart disease, and all kinds of autoimmune diseases. Our maternal mortality rate soared to the highest of any developed country on earth. Same with infant mortality. Like the frog in the slowly boiling water, we didn't really notice as we got sicker and sicker. We've grown now to accept chronic disease conditions as normal. But now, in 2024, we're finally waking up to this cataclysm, and we're asking ourselves, how in the world did this happen? A big part of it is our diet. Restaurants that serve contaminated food are fined or shut down. But when it's the government that approves the poisons in our food, a few people get very, very rich, and the toxins end up in every supermarket aisle. Let me show you what
Yeah, Polymarket is a perfect example. I'll end with that tonight. We've got some time. I want to start trying to get out under 2 hours, but yeah.
I mean. Doritos, Cheez-Its, Cap'n Crunch, gummy bears. Everyone knows that these are junk foods, so maybe you wouldn't be too surprised to see that the ingredients include a lot of poisons, including a harmful yellow dye called tetrazine, or yellow dye number 5. What you may not know is that this dye was originally made out of the sludge that's left over when you turn coal into coke for blast furnaces. It's called coal tar, and I've actually sued many big industries for legacy contamination of coal tar all around the country because it's so toxic and it's so harmful to the environment and human beings. A century ago, it was just an obnoxious industrial byproduct that everybody was trying to figure out ways to get rid of. One of the ways that they did that was by paving roads. But then...
Dude, RFK doesn't have a dad bod. Dude, I work out ad nauseum, and this guy is freaking yoked. You kidding me? That's not a dad bod. RFK is built. What happened to the video? I don't have it. Anyway, it is a very good video. I will find it and replay it again. I do want to go after a couple of other things that I said I would do. FBI raided home of Polymarket CEO. Now, this is really interesting. I mean, because I was kind of like, oh my God, I made predictions and we were right. I know Jason Shepard made some predictions and he was right. This guy is the CEO of Polymarket. Polymarket did a lot of the bets, and we put him on our show. I mean, I was tracking their page, and even though I really wasn't into it, I made my predictions based off of what I always do, my analytics. But I was really interested at what they were doing. He's 26 years old. His name is Shane Copeland. He was arrested. He hasn't been charged, which is interesting. I don't know why he hasn't been charged. The FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office of the Southern District of New York declined to comment on the raid. What they're saying is that his application it's not illegal to bet on politics anymore, and that's changed. And it's my understanding that there was a few $1 billion bet on the election, and there's some people made $20-30 million in gambling on this. Is incredible. But he didn't have a license to do this, and they take cryptocurrency. So that's my understanding. He's received money from Peter Thiel. A lot of people are saying that there's some nefarious stuff, that this could have been election interference. I think they want to try to find out how he came up with these conclusions and what the data and all this other stuff. And this wasn't a giant, psyop to push the election Trump's way. But Polymarket is banned from taking bets in the U.S., and his contract was supposed to be overseas and international bets, not necessarily domestic. So he agreed with his settlement with the Commodity Futures Trading Company, the FTC, in 2022, and it was accused of failing to register with the agency and fined $1.4 million. Nonetheless, the company, which is registered in France, took in a reported $3.7 billion in bets. It was an open secret that users in the U.S. could still bet on the site by hiding behind virtual private networks, VPNs, and that essentially cloaks your IP address and makes it look like you are in a foreign country. I wouldn't know anything about that. That's the raid comes a week after Copeland said the platform is planning to return to the U.S. Polymarket drew added scrutiny after a mystery French trader raked in a whopping $85 million in profits. Speculation swirled that the French whale, who goes by the alias Theo, was trying to tip the scales in Trump's favor. Polymarket has been linked to the president-elect and his allies. Billionaire Trump supporter Peter Thiel raised $70 million in funding for the company, according to Forbes. And Copeland is right here with, they say it's Donald Trump Jr. That doesn't That's not Donald Trump Jr. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Get your shit right, New York Post. I don't care. I don't give a shit. It's not in my realm. I don't care. Who cares? If betting is legal, then let them bet. Whatever. This doesn't mean anything to me. It makes something to me that you get arrested. He's not getting arrested because he predicted Donald Trump winning. It sounds like some nefarious things that the FTC, they've got the bureaucratic red tape, and he's not supposed to be taking bets in the U.S. So maybe he's under investigation. Maybe he took a bribe. I don't know. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I 100% pay my taxes. I don't take money from foreign governments. I am not influenced by anybody in my show. My shit does not stink. And I am pure as driven snow. So bring it. Don't care. But do we expect anything less? I mean, really? Do we really expect anything less? I know. 25 agents, 6 a.m. Of course. It's what they do. When I say I don't care, it's I don't care what he did. I don't care. Did he steal money from people? Did he short sell his pharmaceutical company? Did he go ahead and embezzle money? Did he steal from mom and pop's senior citizen account? No, it's not any of that. He bet on politics, which is legal. I don't care. Bureaucratic red tape. Blue Sky is... Why do Democrats, why do they have stupid names for everything? Blue Sky. 700,000 people left and went to CEO Jack Dorsey's platform, growing it by 14.5 million. It's supposedly the Twitter killer app. Folks, don't go to Blue Sky. Go to Wimkin and go over to X. I'm on X. I love X. Essentially what it is Democrats are throwing a fit. They don't like Elon Musk. They loved him when he was making cars. Now that he went ahead and spoken out, now that he supports Trump, he's evil, he's Satan, and now Blue Sky is getting attention from Democrats. They'll all be back. Once they realize they're not going to make any money on Blue Sky because it's their vacuum, that they make all their money off Republicans and all the Republicans make money on Democrats, they'll all come back. This is just bullshit. It's drama. See, this is the stuff we just don't need to talk about. What we need to talk about are these appointments. The election is over. We won. Now we got to get Trump in office. We got to get his confirmations done. We got to make sure the special elections on the House seats that have been filled get filled with Republicans, and we need to get to work. Donald Trump is most assuredly going after national security first. That's what he's doing. He's going to redefine the military. He is going to make sure that it's completely stocked, ready to go, and funded. He's going to secure the border, and he's going to start work on geopolitical situations. The war in Ukraine, the war in Israel, and any hot spots. He is going to make sure that those things are addressed. Dawn's here. Shit. Okay, let's do it. No, I'm not upset that you're here. Tariffs. Okay, let's go over tariffs quickly. Got to do this for Dawn. Now, you're conservative. I'm conservative. We're Republicans. Republicans don't like tariffs. Most of them don't. And the reason why is because you want to go ahead and promote a free market. And when you give China free reign to trade, that means we get to trade with them. That's a free market, right? And there's no penalty for trading with them, whether it be imports or exports. That's the way it's supposed to work. But Democrats are so freaking just anything Trump says, they've got problems with. But of course, they extended the tariffs on China. They didn't cancel them when Biden took office. They also didn't cancel the tax cuts for the rich. They extended them to 2025. Wonder why? So when Democrats say that tariffs are bad, the tariffs can be bad, but there's a reason for them. And let me tell you why. The number one argument that Democrats say is it's going to raise prices, and they're right. It's going to. Tariffs will absolutely raise your prices. This is true. Now, is it going to raise you 25% inflation in the last 19 months? No. Here's what happens. New technology comes out, okay? And if the United States develops something, immediately, Xinjiang, China, Taiwan, and South Korea, and Bangladesh, I mean, every major producer steals that technology and tries to make it cheap. And they've done this with the automotive industry. They've done it with the electric chip market. They've done it with customer service. They've done it with manufacturing. They've done cheap labor everywhere because these places are extremely impoverished. And they give them unbelievably low wages. And the United States can't compete with that. So this is why you'll see an American-based company try to make a DVD player, and they'll sell it for $99. And then another company will come in, like LG or Philips or Westinghouse, and they'll make a $29 DVD player. And there's nobody who's going to spend $99, no matter how good it is, because there is no difference between a $99 and a $29 versus the overall name of the company. And the reason why is because American manufacturing is expensive. So what America does is they stick an American label on it, but they outsource the production and purchase of the parts overseas because we can't make them in the US, and it doubles the price. So it's hard to compete in the TV market, in the refrigerator market, washers and dryers, vehicles, all that type of stuff, because they can make this stuff in bulk in Mexico and in India and China and other places. So, Angela, I'm not saying that, but just, Angela, wait. Okay? Please. Just wait. We're not there yet. I'm answering a question. And I didn't say buy cheap. Cheap is not better. I never said cheap is better. I just said this is what happens in the retail world. Okay? Then America makes a company, and Circuit City, which is no longer around, or Best Buy, or whatever it is, Fry's, they buy based upon square footage and PPA. And every retailer sells based upon their square footage model. The two highest per square footage sellers in the United States are Tiffany's and Apple. How do I know this? Well, because we modeled our PPA and square footage model after Tiffany's. So all of our retail stores were set up this way. And your goal, and if you look at Apple, there's a lot of wasted space. So it shows you how much profit they have per square foot. It's ridiculous because they can put out one phone and one SKU, and that SKU will sell $300,000 in a quarter. And it's just, there's no stock, there's nothing. It's just one phone. That is why Apple is incredible at their price per square foot, what they sell. Now, if you go ahead and you stick a $99 DVD player, you're going to drive your cost for that DVD player up because your buying power is going to be limited because you're not going to sell as many. It's also going to lower your PPA and your square footage. That is something you don't want to do because year over year, you have to have higher increase in sales and continue to grow. If you don't, you do not expand. If you don't expand, you die. American money, when people say buy American, it's a great sentiment. And I always try to buy American. But even Donald Trump buys his shirts in China or wherever and then prints them in America. A lot of companies do that. American shirts are 40% more than what you get. So it's hard for people to not pass that on to their customer. Now, my store is a perfect example that you can have higher prices and high quality product. And most of that stuff is all USA based or printed in the USA. But some of my stuff isn't. And it says that on the site. Now that we've got Angela, I know what you're just let me finish. I'm not taking sides. I'm just telling you how this works. Telling you how it works. I know what your dad did. That's awesome. Most people should buy in the USA, but let me finish. Let me tell you why I'm telling you all this. I'm trying to explain tariffs to people. So what you have to do is that if you want that DVD player in America from $99 and you want to get it down to $39.99 or $49.99, $10 or $20 more than the overseas version, you have to do a couple things. And the first thing you need to do is make sure that your innovation and research and technology is just as good and your IP is protected. And your intellectual property is done with patents. And we have to make sure that we lean on China, lean on other companies that steal our technology and improve and make it better, that they pay a price for that. That's number one. Number two, a tariff ultimately is going to be a tax, and it's applied to the person importing the goods into the United States. And that tariff might be 50%, 300%, 400%, whatever it is. And usually at that point, what happens is that the manufacturer of those companies increases their sales price. Now, here's the problem. This is the rub, and this is why prices will go up. So hear me when I say this. Because this is what Donald Trump is doing. And you'll never hear this because the news doesn't care, because they won't take the time to explain it to you. And it pisses me off. So I'm going to do it. There will be a time in probably about a year or 2 years, just depends. I don't have the stats. I don't have the statistics. When you will put a tariff and our prices will go up. Now, are we talking thousands of dollars? No. Are we talking maybe extra $100 for a TV? Yeah. But what will happen is simultaneously when we put those tariffs on, we will create a supply and demand issue. And there will be less product in our stores, which will then increase the price. Because retailers won't buy them anymore. And what will happen is that the price of a DVD player will go up to, say, $50. And now that 99 one isn't looking so bad. So what do we have to do? We have to create manufacturers inside the United States that can drive that price of that DVD player down to $69, $59. And a double whammy is going to take place. What will happen is we will stop being dependent on foreign product. Foreign product will go ahead and make up their revenue loss by increasing their prices or by bottom cutting and lowering. They can't do that indefinitely. American manufacturing will then start producing, and we will catch up to that, and we will lower our prices eventually. And what you get is you get sustained buying power, sustained innovation. You don't depend on foreign countries for your products anymore, and we dictate the price. That is what Donald Trump is trying to do. And I am willing to do that to have it made in America. But we have to cut the middleman out. And the only way you do that is by putting tariffs on China and make it too expensive to do business in the United States. But we must get these companies back. And that is why Donald Trump is dropping corporate taxes to like 12 and 14%, because he's incentivizing these companies to come back and build here. This is all the plan. It's all put together. People just don't want to actually invest the time in learning why. Is it going to hurt for a little bit? Yep. But guess what? We've already been getting raked over the coals with inflation. I would rather have the money go to the United States and keep our money here, pay a little bit more in order to get long-term pay less. Here's the best example. You got a guy next to you. He's selling 36 eggs and you're selling 36 eggs. And you go ahead and you put $9.99 or $2.99 for a dozen, and he puts $1.99 for a dozen. And people just keep coming and taking his eggs, taking his eggs, taking his eggs. You're like, son of a bitch. Nobody's buying my eggs. I'm priced too high. So he goes ahead and drops down to $1.49. And as soon as he does that, this guy goes to 99 cents. And he keeps selling eggs and selling eggs. And the guy next to him goes, son of a bitch. And he puts his egg for 79 cents. And the guy next to him says, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and buys all of his eggs, puts it there, and puts a price back on there for $4.99. He buys the guy out at a lower price, takes his inventory, and then resells his inventory for a profit. That is what we want to do. Does that make sense? So what we're trying to do is drive the price down so low that the market stabilizes and we have the potential to buy out this product. We have the potential to shut these companies down because that's what they did to us. So we have to make it too expensive to do business in the United States because they're not playing fair. They're not playing by the rules. They're not following them. So we got to play by their rules. Does that make sense? Good. So, buy American. Just like Angie said, I'm with her 120%, especially when you start finding out, and you'll hear it. You'll hear, and I'm going to tell you, hey, we have these products coming back. These radio manufacturers are coming back, Panasonic, RCA, or whatever it would be. And unfortunately, we don't have these companies anymore. So we have to take these foreign companies who've relabeled themselves, rebranded themselves, and bring them in. And there will be investors who start making stereo systems again, make TVs again. But the problem is there's no margin in it. When you sell a TV at an electronics store, they make about 10%. They make money on the warranty. That's why the cables and everything else, that's where they make the 50, 60 points of margin. If you sell a TV without cables and warranty, you don't make shit. I remember I sold a $4,000 Panasonic Elite or Pioneer Elite plasma TV. I made $9.72 on it because we sold it like $100 over cost. So I would sell cables and warranties and everything else to get my PPA up. And then I would make $200-300 on all the added shit, but make nothing on the TV. I'd make $150 on the warranty. We got to bring these companies back into the United States. That's why. Okay? Outstanding. I hope that works. I hope you understand that. So it's going to hurt for a while. But in the end, we're investing in American business in the hope and the prayer that we can start competing on the international level. Because here's the trick. Once we do that, there is a plus. Once we drive the price down and these Chinese companies bump their price up, we can start selling our product because it'll be in demand to other countries. Then we monopolize the market, just like China's done it. Do you see? We drive up the price. We then undercut the price. And then we start supplying the world with product, which gives us buying power to drive down our prices even more and charge whatever we want in the United States, around the world. So what we're trying to do is buy those eggs next to the guy to the side of us. And the only way we can do that is to drive him out of business. Tariffs hurt them, and it hurts us too for a little bit. That's it. Okay, folks. Tomorrow's Red Friday. Thanks for having us hit goal. I appreciate it. I'm going to check, see if we have any more donations. We don't. Oh. New video game from BattleNet. Oh, shit. This looks good. Ooh. I'll have to look that up. Thomas says, what about the prices when North Korea crosses the DMZ into SK? China's not going to let North Korea go into South Korea. It's not going to happen. North Korea is attached to China's nutsack. They don't even bark. So, all right, everybody, we're getting out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I will be on for a morning show more than likely. I got to start writing my articles again. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. Hey, if you haven't been to thedumshow.com, head on over there. Got some really cool stuff. You can go take a look. Sign up for Wimkin, please. It's real simple. Just go to wimkin.com, put in your email, your name, your username, get a picture, sign up. 24 hours, you'll get your account approved. If you can't, reach out to Olivia at the Dumb Show. Make sure to share and subscribe and all of that if it's your first time watching, because if you don't, you might lose us and not see us again. And we certainly don't want that to happen. We want you to come back. We want you to watch us. Thanks for everybody tonight. Thanks for hitting goal. Thanks for taking care of me and my family. We'll continue to take care of you. God bless. Good night. Good night.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.